Hi, this is Tracy Blakeney, Spiritual Direction Program, with my report of my third semester art retreat at Pendle Hill Retreat Center. It was described as a 4-part course merging meditative practices with intuitive art making to foster mindfulness, self-discovery, and well-being. It was to merge meditative practices with guided drawing exercises, meditation, breath work, intention setting, body movement activities, and so forth. And that we would explore methods influenced by various meditative traditions. It said we would learn to tap into our innate creativity, trust the art making process, and release preconceived ideas about art. It was to encourage deep self-exploration, relaxation, and personal growth in a supportive space rooted in empathic understanding, congruency, and unconditional positive regard. And no prior experience was necessary, just an open heart and mind. What you will learn: mindful approaches to watercolor and or pastel painting, observation and deep looking from nature, foundational techniques such as color mixing, composition, and shading, expressive mark making and material exploration, and personal artistic growth through individual guidance. So I'm telling you all of this because I just need to explain what really happened there. I will note also, because I didn't know what expressive art making, mark making was, and you might, but it is the deliberative, intuitive use of lines, dots, textures, and physical gestures in art to convey emotion, energy, or movement, rather than strictly creating a realistic subject. The strokes reflect the artist's physical movements and internal feelings, making the mark itself the subject of the artwork. So like making a Zorro mark or something like that on the piece. So this is the first retreat that I have engaged in where I've actually been really disappointed. The instructor, Albert Fung, appeared to be unaware of the description of the class, which was to have included beginners. It promised all of those things. It delivered daily meetings in the group, which were about 8 to 10 people, where each participant explained how they were feeling about their art or answered some other question that he posed. That, to me, was the most interesting part of the whole thing, because I got to hear what people thought about their art, their emotion about their art, and what they were working with inside to express their art and how they hope to grow. And that part was really interesting. Everybody else there had experience with art. It also provided a few opportunities to do yoga, but there was no instruction with the yoga. And it was only just like 2 or 3 other people that participated in it. There was one meditation in the 4 days, no breath work, no outdoor work, although he did say we could go outside. There was virtually no instruction. When I repeatedly asked for basic instruction, I was told to just play with the materials. So I played with the materials, but I told him I could do that at home with a YouTube video, that I didn't need to come there for that. And it was an hour driving each way in highway traffic. It was a stressful ride and not fun getting or going home. And then even the class, unfortunately, was not fun. And every morning in group, I expressed my frustration and that I felt I was in the wrong place because I was a beginner and I didn't know how to do anything. There were several other students, though, that offered me ideas on things to do. They even offered me some of their materials. Like, for example, with pastel, there's certain paper that you can use that will grab the pastel. I didn't even know that. All I had was my Canson just multimedia paper. And so I thought that was really kind. So I appreciated that type of help from my peers. And also a lady there said that maybe we could get together and do art because she knows a lot of things about art. And she just wanted somebody to kind of play with. But honestly, I don't think that is really going to happen. She wasn't even there for the last class. So, and I don't have anything to really offer her except my presence, which, yeah, but I think she was really learning to do art with artists, wanting to do art with artists. In fact, several of the women there told me I was courageous to keep coming back. So they could see I was struggling and they could understand why I was struggling. He would come around to each person and ask or say something, and all he told me was to keep playing with the materials. One day he told me to make a big black X through my art. It didn't feel nurturing. It didn't feel supportive. It felt like canceling me. Anyway, as I said, I enjoyed going around in the room and seeing what other people are doing. Most of them were playing with pastels or watercolor, and they were actively talking about their processes, so that was interesting for me to hear, and I think they appreciated having someone to talk to about it. The teacher did do a good job in helping them branch out with their work, where they felt they might be stuck, or ways to open up to their own concepts of their own art. But I just wasn't in that place. Most of them knew him from last summer and appreciated his way of helping them think about their art and themselves in a new way. So I appreciated that vis-a-vis them. Mostly I was practicing, I kept saying, I'm practicing beginner's mind. Like, this was my way of retrieving my experience, was say, I am practicing beginner's mind. I am practicing humility. I'm a child here, just putting watercolor on paper, pastels on paper, using my childhood themes of drawing an apple tree and flowers, and just seeing what it looked like with these other materials. But when I got home, I called Helena Dominic and asked her for a list of art supplies needed to do watercolor, because I thought I might enjoy doing watercolor or pastels. I did complete my survey to share my experience with Fleischer Art Memorial this morning, and I explained it, not in a mean way, but just like how it didn't reflect the description of the class and the retreat. And actually, after I wrote my ideas for this assignment, I just really realized I felt like I was robbed of a potentially meaningful experience. And I'm kind of sad about that, angry about that. So I decided to email them and explain to them, offer to speak to them further if they wanted to, and ask them for a refund for that particular class. And if they offer me a different class with a different instructor, maybe I will do that. Fleischer Art Memorial is a really good outfit here in Philadelphia. So I'm just surprised at how this turned out. So anyway, that is my reflection. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.